have to think of those things when you're alone in your studio. It's crazy. Well, nobody's there. Somebody was there. I usually have music. I like country western. And Segovia, jazz, Quebec. I like shit-kicking music the best. I just get into it with all that about motels and cheating and everything. Stuff and ladies and trucks and trains, you know. Really. It's great. Great stuff. Not too heavy, you know, you have to think of hell. That's what I like. I like old western. I like modern western. Old western. It seemed just like yesterday I was in bed with the flu. It'll all work out. Remember how I told you how much fun it was wedging? Are you having fun? I can't stand too much of this fun. Okay, kind of get it somewhat in the middle, you know? You don't have to center too damn much. Great guy. Henry used to be at that at Athens, Ohio. And Henry Lynn, his parents came over from Japan, I don't know, you know, like years ago. They used to have their own railroad car, you know, and everything back in those days. I guess they owned all the power plants in Japan or something. I don't know, they had just watches, money, you know. And so Henry Lynn gave it all up to make pots, you know. And eventually disowned him, the whole thing, you know. So it's really admire the guy. He had a lot of fun. Henry come up to me and say, "Ho ho!" He said, "Don, you make," he says, "you grow grass now?" I said, "No, Henry, I don't grow no grass now. You're doing clay." He said, "Oh, you're doing clay." So he gives us a lecture, which happens, you know, on kill firing, see? And he says, "Now," he says, "to buy the kill, they're all by the kill, see? Because you have to watch the frame, see? And everybody's watching the frame, says, "The frame. No, the frame. The frame." And everybody's watching the frame. No, the frame, you know, the frame. Everybody's watching the frame. They're at the frame, you know. That's funny. He's a good guy. There we go. I don't want to splash. I don't want to, you know. Okay. Yeah, right. He's been smashed before. You have your clay, like this plate where it makes flatter type of form. You know? Soft enough so you don't have to push your guts out. It's easier, you know what I mean? But a little over slurry, you don't want to like that. We'll throw this morning, and then we'll throw a couple of these morning, and then we can decorate it later. And I think most of it is sort of a semi-decoration, which is different than painting. You know? Both perfectly legal, both perfectly fine. Two different concerns, you know? That's another thing, you know? People are so afraid what they're called, artists or craftsmen or whatever, you know? they're different concerns, I think, you know, both perfectly here, the same level, you know, just different concerns between art and craft, you know. Then we have a person who's an artist and craftsman. Huh? That's the other concern, right? Right. Just going to take my time, got some of that air out of there. All right. It's only disturbing when you hit the hard and soft bumps. Other than that, folks, that is a lot of fun. I usually go back in and compress the center of this clay pretty good to really tighten those, especially if I'm working with pretty soft clay, you know. Then I want to go back in and compress those clay, pardon me, left last night. I will eventually then take all those soaring rings out of there, because they're not going to have anything to do with the surface of the decoration, you know. So then we can start laying this out. Get it going, the rim, this part that's going to do this. Yeah, and now right now, I'm undecided kind of which way to go here, see? Where this thing should go like this, or it should go like this. You know, I don't know. So either way is okay with me. So I'll just work, and whatever happens, you know, if I foul up, it'll go the other way. Just see. So I want to. The rim is pretty tight. You know, I want to have a loose, like I like the rims being loose. You know. So I'll pre-do that. See, I'll just scribe that in right now. That rim. See, loosen it up, and just see what happens as we do it here. See. Lay it down. Now watch over there, see? I'll go ahead and set this down here. I like to use ribs which are tough metal so that they don't bend on me, you know. Those little thin ones are good for fettling, you know, the little thin ones, and for self-sacrifice, cutting your wrist, things like that. But that's about all they're good for, you know. And I use them for scraping surfaces down because they bend the surface, but not for throwing, you know. So I either use, these happen to be, I think these were some zinc plates in the printing room I got, you know. Good putty knives, you know, any kind of a heavy gauge metal. And I like what happens with the grog when it hits the metal, you know, because I can feel it like, you know, it has a nice feeling like that, opposed to the way wood smooths it down. If I want something smoothed down, then I use the wood, you know. If I want some of that grog brought to the surface and so forth, for specific reasons, for texture or color, you know, then I use the metal rim more. See? So I'll go back and get some of this stuff out now. I suppose that because the place is a tad soft, which is the way we wanted it, I might, in my own kind of place, let it set up a minute and then finish that rim, but we don't have time to do that, so we'll just deal with it. It'll be fine, I'm sure. May have to set it back down again. Right in here, see? Just kind of let that go, and then I'll come back. I'll come back to it. Okay? Find those holes again underneath there. Okay. Now that will have to put this guy on. That's really soft, isn't it? Anyway, put this guy's face on, just set that someplace.
My first question is, do you
Yes,
mind if we ask questions?
No, hell, no, that's fine. No,
Okay.
certainly not. I know that.
You said something about setting the rim of the platter back down. Were you referring to it pulling up during shrinkage? Or what were you
Yeah,
referring to?
so that when it dries, I know it's going to be higher than what it is now. So I'll set it back down so that it can pull itself back up to about where I want it, see? Then when I'm doing I'll show you when I do the section pieces, that I'll overcompensate for the form, because I know that the form will sink and shrink this way more than it will that way. You know, it's just the way things shrink. You got to know how things shrink, you know? So when I'm making the larger form, I'm conscious of that, so I will have it up here, standing up a little higher, because it'll go over like that when it shrinks and in the firing. See? Yep, right. Thank you. Good. Thank you. I think it's. I don't know if that'll be all right, I think. Okay, let's put that now. Tight.
Do you have any trouble with cracking in the middle?
Not usually. I would probably here under this air business, you know. Usually I would, when I'm finished doing them, you know, I'll cut them off. I'll cut the wire underneath there, keep the wire under there. Then I slide them off onto racks. I was just looking to see that. You know, like under lights a lot, there'll be things like this, but there'll be grids, you know. They're like the holes about that big in them, you know, plastic things. I have a lot of those, and I set my platters on those. Then the air is underneath them, and they dry up. Sometimes it depends, you know. Sometimes I will cover the rim and let the center dry out a little more. You know, I'll just cover this rim and let the center dry out, and then I'll take the cover off so they catch up. Sometimes you really got to, baby, depending. In the wintertime, when I have heat in the studio, then I got to really watch them because of the draft, you know, and all. I got to watch that, see. As a matter of fact, I kind of don't like the way it is right now, you know. You bear with me a minute, and we'll redo this, okay? I got to find those holes again. Okay. Shouldn't have taken that off, right? Okay. Okay. You just got to go with a pinch of your finger. You know, yeah, that's the hole. Now's the time for me to boot up some remarks. There. But now I can't. There. Okay. I'm going to just deal with this a little bit. You sure you want to do that? That's the worst thing of all, you're in the middle of an operation. The surgeon goes, I agree. It's always tough when you're just about, you know, under that anesthesia or something, your doctor says, shit. Then you hear, surgery. Surgery, call Dr. Brown. Surgery, call Dr. Brown. Yep, that's where you left it. This will be a better rim anyhow. I just like doing that. There. Talk the difference between art I won't get into that, but, we get into a discussion that there is no bad art.